Hello, Stephan here with a follow-up video to the video about the definite articles and the 4 cases. This one is about the plural. The first one was just about the singular. This one is the plural, and it's going to be a little bit shorter because the plural is actually a lot easier and a lot more straightforward. Loquidity. The only thing that's a little bit complicated about plurals in German is that how they form from the singular is not really a straightforward matter. In English, usually we just add an S, except for those that are, the same in singular and plural, or the ones that just are a little bit different, like goose and geese, or mouse and mice, for instance, right? So even in English, we have some irregular ones. In German, plurals tend to follow certain patterns, but you can't really depend on them. For this video, I will be using the same 3 animals that have the masculine and feminine and neutral grammatical genders that I used for my first video for the singulars. But I might as well just use one because they're really the same. But I still want to use all 3 of them just to show you how all 3 genders really decline the same way in the plural. Der Hund in the singular turns into die Hunde in the plural. Die Katze turns into die Katzen in the plural. And das Pferd becomes die Pferde. Just as in my previous video about the definite articles in the singular, in this video about the plural definite articles, I will apply the nominative case, the accusative case, the dative case, and the genitive case. Just as a quick review, the nominative case is used when a noun is the subject of a sentence. The accusative case is used when a noun is the direct object of a sentence. The dative case is used when a noun is the indirect object of a sentence. And the genitive case is really the possessive case. So let's apply the nominative case first. So we have the dogs, the cats, the horses, all acting as the subject of the sentence. So the English sentence, the dogs, the cats, the horses eat, in German would be die Hunde fressen, die Katzen fressen, die Pferde fressen. Let's use the accusative case. So in this case, the dogs, the cats, and the horses are the direct object, the direct recipients of the action. I see the dogs, the cats, the horses. Ich sehe die Hunde. Ich sehe die Katzen. Ich sehe die Pferde. And you can see that the nominative and the accusative case in the plural is the same. They're identical. They look the same. They're not the same, but they look the same. They just happen to take the same form. The dative case is a little bit different. So if a noun is the indirect object of a sentence, it takes the dative case. I give the dogs, the cats, the horses, the ball. A ball that they use to play with or whatever. Let's assume that's their toy. So in German, that would be, ich gebe den Hunden den Ball. Ich gebe den Katzen den Ball. Ich gebe den Pferden den Ball. So den Ball, so der Ball turns into den Ball because that's the direct object. That's the singular masculine accusative case. Der Ball turns into den Ball. That's what I covered in my first video. But let's look at the indirect object, the recipients of the direct object, the ball. Who receives the ball? It's the dogs, the cats, and the horses. So we have den Hunden, den Katzen, den Pferden. So we see 2 changes here. First of all, the definite article changes from die to den. And then if there's not already an N at the end of the noun, there's an N added to it, as in the case of Hunde und Pferde. the genitive case. So here we have a possessive add-on. So we could, for instance, say that this is the ball of the dogs, the cats, or the horses, right? So in German, that would be, das ist der Ball der Hunde. Das ist der Ball der Katzen. Das ist der Ball der Pferde. Only change from the nominative and the accusative case over the possessive to the genitive case would be that the direct article changes from die to der for all three genders in the plural. Now, there's also an archaic form of that you will find in some older texts, or maybe in some lyrical texts like poems and songs, song lyrics. And that would be then, das ist der Hundeball, das ist der Katzenball, das ist der Pferdeball. That is not commonly heard. You are not going to hear people talk like that, most likely. But it is still part of German. It's just a very old-fashioned kind of archaic form. And more likely when you're having a conversation with somebody in a German-speaking country today, a fun construction would be used. Fun plus the dative case. So instead of das ist der Ball der Hunde, you would more likely hear das ist der Ball von den Hunden. Or das ist der Ball von den Katzen. Or von den Pferden. This is more likely and more commonly used. Just as with my first video, I wanted to give you one sentence that includes all four cases. And it has the plurals for dogs, cats, and horses in it, and then one singular noun, and that is Ball. So, die Hunde bringen den Katzen den Ball der Pferde. So that translates into English as, the dogs bring the cats the ball of the horses. Thanks for watching. Danke fürs Zuschauen. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you like these sorts of videos, if you find them helpful. And take care. Mach's gut. Tschüss. Bye.